Day 13, meal almost 1. Okay, I've been up since about 6 in the morning. I got my day started on the meditation cushion, breathing in, breathing out. Like what we always do, like what we're doing right now, but aligning my intent with just to feel the breath moving, aligning my intent just to simply feel the sense of satisfaction and enjoyment and appreciation of just letting the breath go, just letting go, right? Thoughts come in from yesterday and just noticing and then letting go. They keep moving. The breath keeps moving, and I'm not pushing away any particular thought. I'm watching as my mind wants to grab onto the super juicy ones, and I'm like, well, okay, it's super juicy, it'll come back. Right? And just easing into this place where I am here now. And I'm getting ready to have my first meal. Here's the thing, it's 10:30 now, so it's 4.5 hours later. I've not been hungry at all. I'm not hungry yet. So I'm thinking, well, what would it be like if I just waited? If I just waited till my body says now, right? Like, what would that be like? Well, I do have my coffee here, and in my coffee I have some coconut milk. So I have had total, once I finish that coffee, 1/4 cup of coconut milk. So I suppose a 1/4 cup of coconut milk is my first meal. Now, should that be your first meal? Probably not. Probably, sticking with the concept of the plan might be a good idea. But here's what I'm doing. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cups lined up. These are kind of, what are they? Anchor, Hawking, little kind of like cups, right? You can get, I have over here some lids for them. Let me get the lids out here. Got a pile of these lids in my cabinet. Okay, here's all the lids. Okay, my soup is in the refrigerator right now. And so the idea here is I'm going to prepare 6 meals. I've been playing with my portion sizes, so that's kind of like a very small portion size. My first meal of the day will likely be some nuts, and it'll be about a 1/4 cup of nuts with a pinch of apple and maybe 4 of those banana slices that you've seen me eat a million times already. And then the question becomes, it might be nice to have a little bit of extra protein. Well, I have, from last night here in my refrigerator, I have from yesterday, I didn't eat all of that omelet that I had. That bowl of soup, the soup has been extraordinarily satisfying. And I find that I have a little bit, when I get hungry, I have a little bit of a craving for the broth. So my best guess would be that in the broth, because there's such a diversity of vegetables and some protein mixed in with it, there's such a rich diversity that is giving my body what it needs. So I'm going to continue with that theme, but now I'm paying attention to kind of when my body says, and I do, up to this point, the plan has been pretty much try to stay on eating every 3 to 4 hours. All right. So, and then I began to play a little bit when my cravings began to subside and my body's getting what it needs. My body's getting the message that I am working to give all of my trillions of cells and all the helpers through the probiotics, all the helpers, all the tools that they need by means of rich nutrients and enzymes. My body's getting the message, I think, that I'm on its side. Now, I know there's that tiny little voice, I'm not hearing it that often now, that says, cheeseburger. Like, it's like if you're at it's like if you're at a meeting somewhere and for work or just some general meeting, or you go to a town meeting, right? And they're talking about building a new bridge to help everybody get from here to there and might make life easier for the town. And some guy stands up in the middle of the thing while the meeting's going on and yells, "Cheeseburger!" Right? Then, and what if everybody jumped up and ran as fast as they could to Shake Shack or McDonald's? I mean, I love Shake Shack or McDonald's or wherever it is, the closest place that has cheeseburgers, right? I have a pretty active imagination in case you haven't noticed. Yeah, but so it's like this. It's like we're conducting a town meeting with the town that is like the village of our mind and body, where we have trillions and trillions of inhabitants, and all these inhabitants they're working joyously. I'm picturing now like a Dr. Seuss, like Whoville kind of joyously working and singing a song. And I'm picturing now it's like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, working in the on the chocolate river and the Oompa Goompa, whatever it is, it's like, so our whole body working, singing, all these cells joyously, harmoniously, just loving the life that they're living here, doing what they know how to do and working harmoniously with all the rest of our body and creating energy and disposing of toxins and bringing our body to balance and creating kind of new growth and new muscle tissue whenever we work out, and just a whole ecosystem inside ourselves. So I'm picturing here we are in this meeting, and we're like the mayors of this village, right? And sometimes there is, wherever that voice comes from, the person that will stand up and say, "Pizza time!" And I don't know, I guess my body is starting to say, okay, sit down over there. We're enjoying the work that we do, and we don't need you distracting us. Okay? So I guess that's where I'm at in this process. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with just reducing my portion size. I'm going to map it out 6 meals. Now, I have like a really good supply of avocado. That's going to be part of this here. Maybe each meal. I'm going to have the first one here is going to be nuts. And then I need to go to the grocery store and get a few things. So I'm going to pick up some spinach and some arugula and some other greens. I'm going to pick up some more eggs, and I'm going to create a bowl of hard-boiled eggs. So we'll use a few hard-boiled eggs in this equation. I'm probably going to make 1 or 2 of these meals something to do with maybe salmon, right? And then 1 or 2 of these will be the soup that we've been having. And we're going to map that out in 6 meals, and I'm going to do that after I come back from the grocery store. Okay, in the meanwhile, I suppose we could say that my first meal is this cup of coffee and the 1/4 cup of coconut milk. Now, I'm not experiencing any cravings, and I'm not getting hungry. I am waiting until my body says, we need some more tools here, right? In a friendly way. And in a friendly way, I'm going to say, coming right up, my friends, no problem. Yeah. So to make sure that I am in line with my ability to do that, I have my secret weapon here, which is this little bag of, it's hard to see maybe, it's a little bag of nuts. It's about a 1/4 cup of nuts, maybe a little bit more than that. Okay, when I put it in here, it occupies a little bit more than that right there. These are about a cup. I'm going to double check that a little bit later with a measuring cup and see what is it really. Okay, so this is my little supply of nuts here, and if I get hungry in my trip, then I'm going to eat these, so that I'm giving my body, if my body says, "Hey, we need more tools," then I'm gonna try to respond just in time. And I suppose what we're talking about now would be called a just-in-time delivery system like in manufacturing. Now, this might be for another discussion here, but I did happen to meet Edward Deming some years ago, and it was quite a phenomenal experience for me to meet the person that revolutionized. He was an amazing person in terms of looking at process, paying attention, and bringing a kind of attending and awareness into manufacturing. And so in Japan, they adopted his ideas, and that sparked a whole movement that we could call maybe continuous improvement. And eventually this sort of took over all over the world in terms of manufacturing. Now, I'm thinking about Edward Deming at this moment because it was quite, his presence was really amazing. He was like a very powerful teacher. I could feel that in meeting him. And so there might be some things that we can learn from manufacturing, from statistical process, from paying attention, and from measuring, and from observing the process that we're in. And so we'll maybe make a little Edward Deming style kind of study here of what we're doing. But right now, I am paying attention to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places where I'm going to create little meals that I'm going to then put a little lid on, like this, and then stack them up, and that will be my food for the day. Very easy to manage. I could put it in a tiny bag. I could make a little holster and I could carry it around, and in every 4 hours, there I go. I've got my meal ready to go. So I'm going to play with that a little bit. And right now, I'm just going to stick with the fact that I'm not hungry. My body's not asking me really for anything at this moment. So I'm giving, what I'm giving is my awareness, my attentiveness to the feeling of the breath. I'm giving my intent of a joyous, harmonious, interrelating and connectedness in my mind and body, and connected with all the life around me, and intending life-giving, life-fulfilling abundance. All right, I'll see you in a few hours. I got to head off to the store real quick.